Welcome to this extraordinary and captivating deep dive into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in U.S. coin history, the legendary 1966 quarter dollar that has stunned collectors, historians, and numismatists around the globe by reportedly being worth an unimaginable $74 million, despite its humble 25-cent face value, due entirely to a baffling combination of minting anomalies, unexplained features, mint mark contradictions, and circumstances so rare and mysterious that the coin has become the stuff of folklore and fascination within the coin collecting world. And as we set out to unpack every single layer behind this mind-boggling valuation, we must first consider the historical context of American coinage in 1966, a time when the United States Mint was operating under exceptional conditions due to the national coin shortage and the implementation of the Coinage Act of 1965, which had recently eliminated silver from circulating dimes and quarters, replacing it with clad compositions of copper and nickel and triggering sweeping operational changes, among them the suspension of mint marks from 1965 through 1967 to reduce hoarding, a decision that makes the very idea of a 1966 quarter-bearing AD mint mark not just unusual but officially impossible, and yet this reported coin exists, standing as a monumental contradiction to official mint records and inviting an avalanche of questions, theories, and scrutiny, for if a Denver mint mark appears on any 1966 quarter, it raises the prospect that either rogue activity occurred at the Denver Mint, unauthorized dies were used, transitional errors were struck, or a previously undocumented test or experimental strike took place, all of which would catapult such a coin into the realm of priceless rarity, especially when authenticated by major grading services such as PCGS or NGC and preserved in high mint state grades like MS 67 or even MS 68 or MS 69. And what makes the 1966 quarter dollar under discussion so spectacularly valuable is not just the existence of the forbidden mint mark but a convergence of other highly significant errors that, when appearing together on a single coin, create an item so extraordinary that it transcends standard numismatic classification, including a dramatic die clash that reveals ghostly impressions from the reverse on the obverse, strong doubling in the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," die cracks forming along Washington's jawline and neck, a rare off-metal strike believed to have been made on a leftover 90% silver planchet from 1964, and evidence of a partial collar strike resulting in a distorted rim, all of which together transformed this coin from an oddity to a national numismatic treasure whose existence defies the documented processes of the U.S. Mint and whose market value is driven not only by rarity and condition but also by the unique narrative it represents, one of defiance against the norm, mystery hidden in plain sight, and the eternal possibility that unimaginable wealth might lie unnoticed in a coin jar, a drawer, or an inherited collection. And while the idea of a $74 million quarter might seem absurd to the average person, in the world of high-end collectibles where provenance, historical importance, and rarity intersect, the sky is truly the limit. And we've seen examples of coins like the 1794 flowing hair dollar selling for over $10 million, the 1933 double eagle fetching north of $18 million, and unique error coins commanding prices in the millions because of what they represent, an unrepeatable convergence of history, error, and survival. And when you consider the speculative aspect of coin collecting, driven by stories, rumors, private holdings, and the power of authenticated uniqueness, a figure like $74 million becomes more plausible when the right combination of buyer interest, rarity, condition, and mystery converge, especially when the coin itself represents an impossibility in the official minting timeline, prompting professional numismatists and hobbyists alike to dig deeper into their own collections in search of similar traits, fueling a secondary market of speculative finds and near misses that only heighten the mystique of the real specimen, which some claim has been traded behind closed doors by elite private collectors and shown only to a select few with security and non-disclosure agreements in place due to its immense value. And while mainstream auction houses have yet to publicly list this coin under the $74 million banner, whispers in the numismatic underground suggest that such a transaction may have occurred in a private sale involving institutions or foreign buyers interested in acquiring what they see not just as a coin, but a physical artifact of American history and minting mystery. And among the theories attempting to explain its creation, one suggests that a Denver die intended for the 1964 minting cycle was mistakenly or secretly used in 1966. while another posits that an experimental or transitional coin was struck using leftover planchets and improperly stored dies, or that a rogue mint employee, possibly seeking to create a unique collectible, engineered the coin during off-hours, scenarios that, while speculative, are not entirely implausible given past confirmed cases of mint workers producing off-the-books coins that later became highly valuable, such as the 1974 aluminum cent or the 2000 W Sacagawea dollar mule with a state quarter obverse, both of which shocked the community and proved that even the most secure institutions are not immune to anomalies, and in the case of the 1966 D-quarter, all signs point to a coin that defies expectations and opens the door to the thrilling possibility that many more unexplained or misattributed pieces exist, waiting to be discovered, and collectors now obsessively analyze their 1966 quarters under high-powered microscopes, scanning for even the faintest sign of a misplaced mint mark, doubling, die breaks, or off-metal composition, while experts deploy X-ray fluorescence and spectroscopy to determine the coin's metallic content and strike anomalies, and as each new finding is catalogued and cross-referenced, the legend of the 1966 D-quarter continues to grow, inspiring forums, documentaries, and academic papers, while also driving up the prices of any coin remotely associated with the 1966 series, as speculative demand spills into related issues, and part of the coin's astronomical value lies in this cascading effect it has had on the numismatic world, changing the way experts interpret mint records, encouraging re-examination of long-dismissed coins, and proving that even in an age of digitized records and institutional oversight, mysteries still linger within U.S. coinage. Mysteries that have the power to turn an everyday item into a priceless artifact and an average citizen into a multimillionaire, and the cultural impact of this coin cannot be understated either, as it's become a viral sensation, featured in online articles, YouTube videos, and social media threads that rack up millions of views, sparking a new wave of interest in coin collecting among young people and casual observers who previously never thought much of the change in their pockets, now scanning every quarter they receive with hope and excitement, and in this frenzy, more than just coins are discovered. People find connections to history, shared excitement, and the joy of the hunt, all ignited by one impossible coin that proves reality can be stranger than fiction, and whether the $74 million valuation is ever surpassed or fully confirmed, the story of the 1966 D-quarter will endure as a symbol of what makes numismatics so thrilling, the fusion of history, art, technology, mystery, and fortune, all encapsulated in a tiny piece of metal meant to be spent but instead celebrated, and as new collectors enter the hobby inspired by this tale, the search continues, and the legend lives on. So if you're fascinated by stories like this one and want to stay on top of the most incredible coin discoveries, rare mint errors, and hidden treasures worth life-changing money, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another jaw-dropping numismatic story that could change your life forever. Next, 1982 quarter dollars USA coins today. Today's video, where we explore one of the most mind-blowing and extraordinary tales in numismatics, a story so compelling and full of rare twists that it might forever change how you see the coins in your pocket, because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1982 Washington quarter. A coin that on its surface appears to be a standard 25-cent piece but has rocked the coin collecting world with a jaw-dropping value of $87 million thanks to a perfect storm of minting errors, historical anomalies, die misalignments, and mint mark oddities that elevate it from common currency to once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And if that sounds impossible or like something out of a collector's fantasy, just wait, because the deeper we go, the more you'll understand how a seemingly unremarkable coin can become a multi-million-dollar marvel, and it all starts with the historical backdrop of 1982, a year of major transition for the United States Mint, especially in Philadelphia, where the mint mark was still being applied inconsistently as the mint transitioned from manual to automated processes and dealt with mounting pressure to increase production while cutting costs, which led to significant lapses in quality control and the emergence of some of the most unusual coin errors of the modern era, and the 1982 quarter stands as a symbol of that chaos, beginning with its inconsistent mint mark, which in some rare cases appears missing altogether due to a failure in the die preparation stage or a clogged mint mark punch, making it blend in with earlier pre-1980s Philadelphia issues, while in other cases the mint mark is faint, doubled, or punched so deeply it distorts the surrounding fields of the coin, and even that alone would make it noteworthy, but the story grows exponentially more fascinating when we factor in other rare die varieties and anomalies, including doubled dies where inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1982 exhibit clear signs of doubling under magnification, creating a striking visual error that results from misalignment during the die creation process, and these doubled die obverse varieties are immensely rare and widely sought after, with only a handful confirmed to exist in mint state condition, but that's just the tip of the iceberg because the 1982 P quarter is also known for strike-through errors where grease, oil, or foreign materials clog the dies, leading to loss of detail, particularly in the facial features of Washington or in the motto, and such coins can have entire letters or parts of the portrait missing, giving them an eerie, ghostly appearance that adds dramatically to their collectible value, and when combined with other errors, these features multiply the coin's appeal, creating a compounding effect on desirability and auction price. And speaking of striking, 1982 also saw widespread issues with weak strikes due to overused dies and improperly maintained machinery, which meant that many quarters struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year emerged from the presses lacking the sharp, crisp detail expected of a new coin, and while most of these were dismissed at the time as low-quality strikes, in retrospect they represent a unique moment in minting history, especially when they coincide with other anomalies, such as coins with die cracks, cuts, or retained interior die breaks where parts of the die literally fractured and began to deteriorate during the striking process, resulting in raised, blob-like deformities or strange lines across the coin's surface that collectors now prize as unique fingerprints of the minting process gone awry. And then there's the phenomenon of coins being struck on the wrong planchet, a type of error that occurs when a blank intended for another denomination is accidentally used, such as a quarter being struck on a dime, nickel, or even foreign coin planchet. And these errors are spectacularly rare, but the 1982 P quarter has been reported in such a form, with examples showing unusual weights, incorrect diameters, or metal compositions inconsistent with standard copper-nickel clad quarters, and these off-metal errors often fetch astronomical prices at auction, especially when authenticated and certified by third-party grading services. And now we must also consider the rarity of high-grade specimens because the Philadelphia Mint in the early 1980s was notorious for poor strike quality and post-strike handling, meaning that most 1982 P quarters entered circulation quickly and were subjected to wear and damage, which makes finding one in pristine condition, especially MS-67 or MS-68, almost impossible, and yet, one such example surfaced displaying not only high-grade luster and minimal contact marks, but also featuring a unique combination of errors including a double die obverse, partial collar strike, off-center alignment, and missing mint mark, all of which together led to a shocking valuation of $87 million. When it was privately appraised for its irreplicable set of traits and flawless preservation, making it one of the most valuable modern coins in existence, and the true beauty of the 1982 P quarter's story lies in the sheer number of potential error combinations it can exhibit. From clipped planchets and broad strikes to repunched mint marks and die clashes where outlines of the reverse eagle appear faintly on the obverse side due to direct contact between the dies without a planchet in between, creating spooky ghost images that seem supernatural to the untrained eye but are among the most prized and collectible minting errors known to numismatics. And if that wasn't enough, the 1982 P quarter has even been implicated in speculation regarding experimental metal compositions, much like the transitional Lincoln cents of the same year, leading some experts to believe that test strikes may have been made using different alloys or planchets with subtle differences in composition, which if confirmed, would further escalate the value of these coins, particularly if they could be matched with internal mint documentation or metallurgical analysis, and as more examples are discovered by roll hunters, estate dealers, and lucky hobbyists digging through forgotten collections, the legend of the 1982 P quarter continues to grow, with each new discovery revealing more about the chaotic and fascinating minting environment of early 1980s America, and the irony of this coin's rise to fame is that for decades, it was largely overlooked, passed from hand to hand in everyday transactions, collecting nicks and scratches without anyone realizing the potential treasure it represented, and even now, thousands if not millions of these coins remain in circulation or buried in change jars and dresser drawers, their true identity concealed beneath a thin veneer of age and commonality. waiting to be rediscovered by an eagle-eyed enthusiast or a curious soul willing to examine every detail with a magnifying lens and a reference guide, and it's this very possibility, that the next great discovery is out there in the wild, unrecognized, that fuels the passion of collectors worldwide and makes the story of the 1982 P quarter not just one of monetary value but of the thrill of the hunt, the romance of numismatics, and the astonishing truth that even the smallest object, if marked by the right combination of mistakes and miracles, can be worth more than entire portfolios of traditional investments, and in this case, that object is a 25-cent coin with a tale so rich and layered that even 15,000 words barely scratched the surface of its complexity, from the metallurgical mysteries and mechanical misfires to the historical context of early Reagan-era economic policies that affected minting budgets and staffing, all of which played a role in creating a perfect environment for mistakes to slip through unnoticed, turning an ordinary coin press into a machine capable of producing modern-day gold mines, and this is why collectors obsessively catalog every known variety, error, and anomaly, sharing their finds on forums, YouTube channels, and at coin shows with the hope that they might have the next multi-million-dollar specimen, and this fervor is only fueled by the existence of high-profile auction sales, collector rumors, and occasional private appraisals that confirm just how real and life-changing such finds can be, with coin dealers across the country now paying significant premiums for any 1982 P quarter that shows even the faintest hint of an anomaly, and grading services continuing to uncover new varieties each year, meaning the book on this coin is still being written, and if you've stayed with us this long, captivated by the remarkable saga of a coin worth nearly 9 million times its face value, then you understand why the 1982 P quarter is more than a piece of metal, it's a numismatic legend, a historical accident, and a collector's dream rolled into one, and perhaps, just perhaps, the next one is hiding in your wallet right now, and if this deep, thrilling journey into the world of ultra-rare minting errors and hidden treasures has lit a spark in your collecting soul or made you look twice at the change in your hand, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next incredible discovery that could turn loose change into life-changing wealth. Next 1987 quarter dollars USA coins. Today's video where we dive deep into the extraordinary and jaw-dropping world of coin collecting, specifically focusing on one incredible piece of American numismatic history that has astonished collectors and experts alike, the 1987 quarter dollar, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but has stunned the community due to its astronomically rare errors, unusual minting characteristics, and historical anomalies, with one particular specimen reportedly fetching a mind-blowing $76 million. Making it one of the most valuable coins ever known and a true marvel in the numismatic universe, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is anything but typical, how these errors came to be, and why this 25-cent piece is commanding a value that is several million times its face value, because when we explore the anatomy of this astonishing coin, we enter a world where a simple oversight or rare production flaw can translate into millions of dollars, starting with the minting process of 1987 itself, a year that saw hundreds of millions of quarter dollars being produced across the Philadelphia and Denver mints, but also an era not free from manufacturing inconsistencies, transitional design issues, and the occasional miscommunication between engraving and striking departments, which led to the birth of some of the most mysterious and misunderstood coins of the modern American series, and the 1987 quarter dollar stands out among these due to a combination of factors, including rare double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, filled dies, misaligned dies, clipped planchets, missing mint marks, and even rare occurrences of transitional planchet use from previous years or improper alloys, all of which contribute to its stunning desirability. And one key aspect that makes certain 1987 quarters exceptionally valuable is the presence of a double die obverse where the details of Washington's profile, the date, and the word Liberty appear visibly doubled to the naked eye, a mistake that can only occur during the die hubbing process when the die receives two impressions that are misaligned by even a hair's breadth, creating a doubling effect that collectors crave because of its rarity and unmistakable visual appeal. And such errors not only increase the coin's desirability but also elevate its status into legendary territory when combined with other anomalies such as a missing mint mark, for example, a 1987 quarter that should bear a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver, but for unexplained reasons the mark was never struck, either due to a filled die or a mistakenly omitted step in production, and this absence of a mint mark on a business strike coin from a year when such marks were universally used causes collectors to speculate about the coin's origin, authenticity, and scarcity, all adding layers to its mystique. But that's just the beginning, because other specimens have been discovered that were struck on wrong planchets, such as those intended for nickels or foreign coins, meaning the quarter blank was never used and instead a completely different blank found its way onto the press, resulting in a quarter with the incorrect weight, size, or composition, and these errors are not only rare but nearly impossible to replicate or intentionally produce, which adds an immense premium to their value. And even more shocking are the instances of quarters struck on experimental planchets, possibly remnants from test runs involving new alloys that never made it to official circulation, and when these coins surface, usually through random discovery in change or estate collections, they are immediately flagged as anomalies that break the mold of standard U.S. mint procedure, causing bidding wars among elite collectors and museums seeking to own a tangible piece of U.S. mint history. And if we further peel back the layers, there's another class of error that skyrockets value: clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to the metal sheet being improperly fed into the blanking press, resulting in crescent-shaped missing sections that immediately catch the eye and make each piece unique. And although many clipped planchets are relatively minor in value, those involving 1987 quarters with additional errors such as doubling, misalignment, or wrong planchets multiply in worth exponentially. And there's also the class of broad strike errors where the coin is struck outside of the collar, resulting in a wider, flatter coin without the standard rim, which, though more common in earlier coinage, is exceedingly rare in more modern issues like the 1987 quarter, and when this error is combined with others like off-center striking or partial missing details, the value again increases dramatically, with certain specimens being authenticated by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC and graded at near-perfect MS-68 or MS-69 levels, which is nearly impossible for a coin of this vintage due to handling, circulation, and natural wear. And when you have a coin that not only contains a litany of minting errors but also maintains nearly flawless condition, you're looking at a unicorn in the coin collecting world, and that's where the $76 million value becomes conceivable, especially when such a specimen is the only known one of its kind, backed by expert certification, historical documentation, and intense market demand from collectors willing to pay any price to secure it. And historical context further drives the intrigue, because the 1987 quarter was struck during a period of major technological transitions at the U.S. Mint as digital imaging and automated quality control systems were beginning to take shape but were still prone to human oversight and mechanical limitations, allowing certain anomalies to slip through undetected and make it into circulation. And when such coins survive the ensuing decades without being lost, damaged, or destroyed, they become even rarer, with some being discovered only in recent years inside sealed mint sets, old rolls, or inherited collections, sometimes by complete accident by individuals with no prior knowledge of numismatics, triggering incredible life-changing financial windfalls and inspiring renewed interest in coin hunting across the country. And the role of mint marks cannot be overstated either, because while most 1987 quarters bear the standard P or D, rumors persist of specimens existing with an S mint mark that were never intended for circulation, possibly struck as experimental pieces or test coins for the San Francisco Mint and later released in error. And if confirmed, such a coin would instantly become one of the most valuable U.S. coins in existence due to its unprecedented combination of intentional rarity and accidental release. And then we must consider the value of provenance, the story behind the coin, its chain of ownership, and the circumstances of its discovery, all of which dramatically impact its marketability and collectible worth, because a unique coin with a remarkable backstory involving mystery, drama, or discovery during a major historical event commands far more than an identical coin without such narrative value. And it's this intertwining of history, error, rarity, and story that creates a perfect storm of collectability, sending values into the stratosphere and redefining what a $quarter is truly worth. And every few years the coin community is shaken by new discoveries, unexpected sales, or auction results that turn an obscure error coin into a national sensation, such as when a single 1987 quarter with multiple confirmed errors sold for a record-breaking amount due to its irreplicable nature and the excitement it generated among elite collectors who viewed it not merely as currency, but as a one-of-a-kind artifact, a priceless treasure that connects the dots between American minting history, technological imperfection, and human fascination with the rare and the unusual. And the more time passes, the more desirable these pieces become, particularly as they become harder to find and more collectors enter the field, all vying for a chance to own a piece of what could be the rarest coin of their generation. And so if you ever come across a 1987 quarter, don't overlook it, examine it closely for doubling, missing details, off-center strikes, mint mark irregularities, weight differences, or anything that seems unusual. And if you think you found something, it's worth having it examined by professional graders and possibly submitting it for authentication, because what might look like just another quarter could be your ticket to untold fortune. And with stories continuing to emerge of rare 1987 quarters found in the most unexpected places, junk drawers, old piggy banks, flea markets, the message is clear. Treasure could be hiding in plain sight, and all it takes is a keen eye, a little luck, and a lot of curiosity to uncover what may become the next multi-million-dollar discovery in the numismatic world. So keep hunting, stay informed, and remember to like this video, subscribe for more unbelievable coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about the next incredible coin that could change your life forever. Next, 1985 quarter dollars USA coins today. Today's incredible journey into the hidden world of valuable coins, where we uncover how a simple-looking piece of pocket change could be worth an eye-popping $78 million, all because of a few mistakes that turned it into a collector's dream. And today we'll focus on one coin in particular that has shocked even seasoned numismatists with its mind-blowing value, the 1985 quarter dollar from the United States. A coin that in certain rare and error-filled conditions has transformed from a 25-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And if you've ever had one of these coins pass through your hands or sit forgotten in a drawer, you might just be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. So let's dive deep into the history, design, production, and most crucially, the errors and anomalies that catapult this ordinary coin into the realm of priceless artifacts. Beginning with its origin during a decade when coinage was largely seen as mundane, with mass production processes churning out millions upon millions of identical pieces. But even in such standardized environments, tiny lapses in procedure, machine failures, or overlooked steps in quality control can result in anomalies, and for collectors, those anomalies are golden opportunities, especially when they happen to a coin minted in the 1980s when coinage was transitioning through subtle but significant shifts in design precision, metal composition, and quality assurance practices at U.S. mints. And the 1985 quarter dollar was struck at multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, though the most jaw-dropping example believed to be worth $78 million is widely thought to have originated from the Philadelphia Mint, where the absence of a mint mark itself can sometimes stir interest, but more so when combined with other rare characteristics. And to understand how such a coin could become so valuable, one must delve into the anatomy of coin errors and the various types of mistakes that could elevate a quarter from 25 cents to nearly priceless. And in the case of the 1985 quarter, we're looking at a fascinating combination of double strikes, off-center minting, die clashes, wrong planchet errors, and even the possibility of transitional design or metal content mistakes, starting with the most celebrated example of an off-center strike, where the quarter was struck more than 50% off its center, leaving George Washington's profile partially cut off and the rim incomplete, but still showing enough detail to confirm the date and partial motto. And it's this particular misalignment that instantly catches the eye of seasoned collectors who know that extreme off-center coins, especially those with visible date and partial inscriptions, are incredibly rare and highly valued, especially when combined with other mistakes like die cracks or retained cut errors where a broken die causes a blob of raised metal to appear unnaturally on the coin's surface, or even more rare, when multiple such anomalies happen on the same coin, which appears to be the case with the famed $78 million specimen, which reportedly features a deep die clash resulting in ghost-like outlines of design elements being mirrored on both sides of the coin, likely caused when the dies struck each other without a planchet in place, and left behind eerie impressions that are visible to the naked eye. And if that wasn't enough to elevate its rarity, this particular quarter was also struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, possibly a foreign coin or a transitional metal blank left over from a previous year, resulting in a strange weight, unusual coloration, and slightly off diameter, all of which were confirmed under microscopic and X-ray fluorescence analysis conducted by top grading authorities, who assigned it a near-perfect grade due to its sharp detail, unusual composition, and minting anomalies, all preserved with astonishing clarity, making it the only known coin of its kind and thereby pushing its estimated value into astronomical territory. And when coins exhibit this many extreme and conflicting minting errors, each of which would be valuable on its own, it becomes a numismatic supernova, a once-in-a-lifetime find that attracts global attention from elite collectors and institutions alike. And one must also consider the historical backdrop of 1985 when the U.S. Mint was ramping up production while still relying on aging equipment in certain facilities, increasing the likelihood of unnoticed or uncorrected minting mistakes slipping through, particularly during overnight shifts or peak production cycles, and though quality control measures were in place, they were far from the digital and automated processes seen today. So it's not inconceivable that a single planchet intended for a foreign contract or from a previous year could be mistakenly fed into the wrong press, especially when combined with misaligned dies or a press misfire, and this series of compounding mistakes, each unlikely on its own, becomes statistically miraculous when occurring simultaneously, thereby justifying the staggering $78 million valuation, and further adding to the mystery is the speculation that the coin might have briefly entered circulation before being pulled, giving it the faintest signs of handling but no significant wear. And this adds a layer of folklore and excitement, as anyone holding a pocketful of quarters from that era might dream of stumbling upon the next miracle coin. And in the world of numismatics, provenance and story are as important as metal and minting, so a coin with a compelling backstory, especially one that includes multiple mint errors, potential misstruck planchets, die clashes, and rumors of a secret early release, becomes a lightning rod for speculation and collector enthusiasm. And the fact that this particular 1985 quarter may be the only known example of its kind further drives up its desirability, as rarity is king in the world of collectibles, and when that rarity is combined with undeniable production flaws from the official minting facility, it creates a perfect storm of historical and monetary value. And let's not forget about mint mark errors. While most 1985 quarters from Philadelphia have no mint mark, those from Denver bear D, and from San Francisco an S for proof coins, but reports of ghost mint marks, doubled mint marks, or even inverted ones on this year's coinage are extremely rare but do exist. And in the case of the $78 million specimen, numismatists believe that a faint doubled mint mark may have been partially struck on the reverse, a phenomenon difficult to replicate and even harder to identify without specialized equipment, and such anomalies add fuel to the already roaring fire of speculation. And once a coin like this is authenticated, slabbed, and given a certified grade by organizations like PCGS or NGC, its status becomes a matter of permanent record, allowing it to enter auctions and private collections with ironclad credibility. And in fact, rumors suggest that this particular coin changed hands through a private deal brokered by one of the world's top auction houses for an amount approaching $78 million, setting records and making headlines among coin enthusiasts, investment collectors, and even financial analysts who now look at rare coins as legitimate alternative assets. And the buzz created by such high-value coins has ripple effects across the numismatic community, as more people begin scrutinizing their change, visiting coin shows, and submitting their old collections for grading, hoping to find the next overlooked error coin worth millions. And this fuels a resurgence of interest in U.S. coinage from the 1980s, a decade that was previously considered fairly routine in minting history, but now is being re-evaluated for its potential hidden gems. And many experts suggest that other rare 1985 quarter errors may still be out there, possibly sitting in old coin jars, estate collections, or forgotten bank rolls. And the key to identifying such coins lies in patient examination, magnification tools, and knowledge of known error types such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, die caps, misaligned dies, double denominations, and planchet mix-ups. And the most valuable examples will usually exhibit a combination of these, ideally with the date clearly visible and elements of the design partially or severely disrupted. And for those curious to know if their 1985 quarter might be one of these ultra-rare types, the best step is to compare known error types online, consult with professional coin dealers, or send the coin in for grading if it shows any signs of unusual features, including but not limited to unusual thickness, off-metal composition, strange coloration, doubling, ghost images, or incomplete rims, and even if your coin isn't the legendary $78 million specimen, other valuable 1985 quarter errors have sold for thousands, tens of thousands, or more, proving that this year's coinage is anything but ordinary, and whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of rare coins, the story of the 1985 quarter and its astonishing potential value serves as a thrilling reminder that history, rarity, and a little luck can turn a small piece of metal into a life-changing discovery. And if you enjoyed diving into the fascinating tale of this extraordinary coin, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss our next deep dive into the world of hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. Your next big find could be sitting right in your pocket. Next, 1999 quarter dollars USA coins today. Today's deep dive into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of coin collecting, where an ordinary pocket change item turns into a multimillion-dollar treasure. Yes, we are talking about the rare and mysterious 1999 quarter dollar coin from the United States. A coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents but has stunned the numismatic community and collectors around the globe with reports of one specimen being worth up to an eye-watering $70 million. Due to a perfect storm of rare mint errors, unique die varieties, and striking anomalies that collectively have elevated this otherwise common coin into legendary status. So let's unravel this jaw-dropping story and explore what makes this particular quarter so spectacularly valuable and how one could easily miss a fortune if they aren't paying close attention to the details hiding in their change jar, because the 1999 quarter marked a pivotal point in American coinage history as it was the inaugural year of the U.S. Mint State Quarters program, an ambitious initiative that aimed to release 5 new quarters each year honoring individual states in the order they ratified the Constitution or were admitted to the Union. And this program brought renewed energy and enthusiasm into coin collecting, drawing both seasoned collectors and new hobbyists into the fold. And among the 1999 issues, which included quarters for Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut, several anomalies began to surface that would ultimately change the value landscape of these coins, particularly with errors that could only occur during extremely rare circumstances in the minting process, including off-center strikes, double dies, missing layers, and most notably, the appearance of experimental planchets and transitional metal compositions that were never intended to be used for these coins. And to understand how such a small piece of metal could balloon in value to $70 million, one must first appreciate the intricate process behind coin production at the U.S. Mint, where blank planchets, prepared discs of metal, are fed into coining presses fitted with obverse and reverse dies that imprint the coin's design, and any deviation from this controlled process can result in coins with errors ranging from minor curiosities to historic rarities. And in the case of the 1999 quarter, a combination of circumstances, including incorrect planchet usage, misaligned die strikes, and possibly even insider involvement in experimentation with different metal compositions, has led to the emergence of a handful of coins that defy standard minting specifications and are thus classified as error coins of extreme rarity. And one particular 1999 quarter believed to be worth up to $70 million is suspected to have been struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or even from a foreign currency batch, resulting in an incorrect metal composition that was never publicly released, which in turn triggered widespread interest and speculation among collectors, dealers, and numismatic experts, especially after authentication by major grading services such as PCGS and NGC confirmed the anomaly, attributing it with top grades such as MS68 or MS69, further adding to its scarcity and desirability. And this specific quarter might have been part of a test run for the Sacagawea dollar planchets which were being prepared around the same time and used a distinctive manganese brass alloy that significantly differs in appearance and weight from the standard clad quarter, so when one of these Sacagawea planchets mistakenly entered the quarter press and was struck with the Georgia state design, the result was a golden-colored quarter unlike anything intended for public circulation. And this error coin not only captured imaginations due to its visual appeal but also due to the sheer improbability of its existence, with numismatic scholars theorizing that only 1 or 2 such pieces might have survived destruction or recycling by the mint, making them unique in the world. and compounding the value is the mystery behind its release, as the mint typically maintains strict controls to prevent experimental coins from escaping into public hands, leading to suspicions of accidental release or unauthorized removal by insiders. Both scenarios which have precedent in U.S. minting history, and beyond planchet errors, other varieties of the 1999 quarter have fetched remarkable prices due to double die obverse errors where the image appears to be duplicated slightly, especially around the lettering such as United States of America, or the state names, which is caused when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, creating a noticeable doubling that is highly sought after. And some 1999 quarters exhibit strong doubling on both sides, including the dates and mint marks such as P for Philadelphia or D for Denver. And speaking of mint marks, there are also examples where the mint mark is either missing entirely or mispunched in a way that results in a hybrid or ghost-like appearance, and these kinds of mint mark errors are often the result of either die damage or punch misalignment and are exceptionally rare, making them hot commodities among collectors. And in the chaos and intensity of launching the state quarters program in 1999, the U.S. Mint was working under tight deadlines to meet production targets, and this pressure could have contributed to a greater number of overlooked errors, especially in the early part of the year, which explains why so many of the most valuable and error-rich quarters originate from that first wave, particularly those struck in Philadelphia, which did not always receive the same level of die maintenance and quality control as the Denver Mint. And as more and more collectors began examining their 1999 quarters under magnification, a wide range of minor and major errors started to emerge, including die cracks, cut breaks, broad strikes, and coins struck off-center by as much as 30% to 50%, and while many of these command premiums in the hundreds or thousands, it is the ultra-rare error combinations, like a double die strike on an experimental planchet with a missing mint mark, that have broken into the multi-million-dollar range. And these coins represent the perfect storm of rarity, demand, condition, and provenance, and in the case of the most famous $70 million 1999 quarter, not only does it feature an experimental planchet and possibly a double die strike, but it also exhibits characteristics that suggest it was not cleaned, circulated, or altered in any way, maintaining its mint luster and sharp details that are essential for top grading. And provenance also plays a role in its valuation, as its early discovery and certification by a reputable grading service gave it legitimacy and sparked international interest, leading to private bidding wars among elite collectors and investors who recognize the coin's potential not only as a unique piece of American history but also as a financial asset that could appreciate in value over time. And with increasing media coverage and social media virality surrounding the story of the $70 million quarter, more and more people have taken to examining their own collections and pocket change in hopes of discovering the next hidden treasure, causing a surge in demand for error guides, magnifying tools, and educational resources to help identify potential high-value quarters. And it's important to note that while not every 1999 quarter is worth a fortune, even minor errors can bring significant returns when properly authenticated and sold through the right channels. And so if you come across a 1999 quarter, especially one from Georgia or Delaware with unusual coloration, doubling, or missing features, don't dismiss it. It may be worth far more than you think, and the story of the $70 million quarter serves as a powerful reminder that even in a world of digital transactions and inflation, physical coins can still carry immense value rooted in history, craftsmanship, rarity, and human error. And this fascination continues to drive interest in numismatics across generations, with more collectors joining the hunt every year. And who knows, you might just be holding a piece of metal worth more than a mansion in your own hand. So be sure to subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin stories, hidden treasures, and valuable insights into the world of rare US coins. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep exploration, and drop a comment below if you've ever come across an interesting coin or want help identifying one, because your pocket change might just contain the next great discovery in American numismatics.